Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner, Albert Cameron. Albert, we talked about the Austintown 12 and under softball last week, and I'll tell you what, when you finish as one of the top teams in the country, no apologies needed.
Yes, a team that's one of their rivals, Rowan, the Southeast region, defeated them 3-1 on last Saturday. Eliminated from the Softball World Series. Faced one of the top 6 teams. We usually don't cover somebody that loses, but when you're one of the top 6 teams in the country, we thought it was worthwhile.
Quite impressive.
Pretty amazing.
It is. I mean, you think of how many teams there are. That's like my buddy was just telling me. I was talking to him the other day, my old coach, and he listens to our show and on the podcast. And he was saying he can't keep track of how many teams there are just in his town. Babe Ruth this, Connie Mack that. He said, I can't keep track. He said, there's a tournament,
every weekend.
Pretty much.
Yeah, kids are playing all over the United States now with this travel ball. And it's changed completely. Little League Baseball, which I thought was the greatest growing up, is now dwindling because of Bronco baseball. They're all going to Bronco. I don't like Bronco. When you get a walk and you can get on third base every time you get a walk.
So, real quick, because we may have some fans. Yeah. You've told me about it before, but we may have some
11
fans.
and 12. We're talking about 11 and 12-year-old kids.
The older little leaguers,
yes.
so to speak.
Yeah, they're really little league age. They move the mound back a little distance, and the bases are a little longer, and you can now lead off. Well, there are no, unless you're elite playing around the country, one of the top 10 teams in the country. If you're just playing on a Saturday afternoon in your hometown and you get walked,
you want to third.
You're going to go around. You're still second, still third every time because the catcher can't get the ball down there and the pitcher can't hold you on. They don't know how to hold.
Stretch.
They don't know how to hold people on.
I mean, come on.
No. So it's not. Don't get me started, George. You know how I feel about that.
No, I didn't.
Bronco baseball.
But I didn't know why. You said I knew because you had told me, but I wanted our viewers and listeners.
I'm glad you said that because they might not know.
Yeah.
So the scores of those games are normally 15 or above, like 16, 14. No one invented baseball for that to be a normal score every game. The only time it doesn't happen is we have to get 2 elite pitchers on the mound that show up at the same time. It doesn't happen too often in a hometown. It might show up in a big-time tournament.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
And you know what I noticed online, especially on Twitter, they call it X now, how many people are advocating trying to get Legion ball back again and not doing all the travel. But I think that milks out of the jug.
Yeah, I just think that the money being spent is beyond belief. The start of that, George, as basketball coaches, was supposed to be for the best players.
Yeah, and it was at one time. I remember them coming to get one of my guys, and I'd say, could you have him back by such and such? Because I knew they were going to spoil him rotten when he was there.
And then all of a sudden hit the second team, then hit the third team. And now you'll pay $1,000 per team with 60 teams, and the scores of the games are 67-14. George, wouldn't you rather stay home?
We were there. No, we were there. I was telling a buddy of mine, son was a good player, low D1. And he says, come over with me. I says, well, what's going on? He said, well, they have a game. Well, they had Dwayne Woodruff's son, and they had like the best players in the Pittsburgh area, which were pretty good. And they're playing this JV team from Sharpsville.
I know.
And I said, it was like you said, 113-9 or something. When it was over, I said to the guy, I said, well, who got better here? Because the 9 didn't get better. They got complete. They want to quit basketball.
Right.
And the guy's 113 ain't getting better.
0. They shot nothing but layups.
Nothing but layups. Throwing the ball off the board.
Yes.
So we know that routine. But you know what really fueled that? And you and I, we talked about it. Guys whose kids weren't good enough to make the big team, so they started their own. That's what
like the shortstop in baseball.
Absolutely. That's what started all that.
If you see a kid playing shortstop, who you can see is an average guy, and he's batting third.
He pitches when he doesn't play shortstop.
You can look into the dugout and see his dad.
Dad, what do we do? What do we do, Dad? And he's a quarterback at the midgets, too. You can add that to the list. Yeah.
Football is around the corner, talking about midgets.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some major changes going on with coaching in the area. At Canfield, Mike Pavlansky's been there forever. Great run for 23 years. That's a long time to coach, George.
Yeah. Oh, in today's climate,
Yes.
23 months is a long time.
13 times in the playoffs.
The way they call the scoreboard if you
Yes.
leave your shirt on top.
State championship in 2022.
Good record, Coach.
Well, his assistant is moved up.
Yeah.
Joe Gannazio. Congratulations, Joe.
Sounds like he earned it.
Yes, he's got the culture, whatever Canfield's been doing. It's not going to change.
No.
You know, I guarantee probably the weight room is very similar. The practice habits are very similar.
I remember going over there with you, and the whole place reeked of success.
Yes, it did.
We'd interview a kid. He said, "Well, where are you going?" "Well, I'm going to Harvard." And
Yes.
I said, "Well, what do you want to?" You know, I was measuring it. I thought, phys ed. I didn't know.
Yes.
You couldn't. We didn't have phys ed where I was.
Right.
And this guy's majoring in something. He wants to cure Alzheimer's. And we're talking to him, and I'm looking, thinking.
We
to
left
myself,
that place saying,
I'm thinking
hey,
to myself, the world's in good hands.
Canfield's
Let's say that. You know,
Canfield's
a
pretty
lot of
sweet.
people panic. You think, all these kids today, check out the honor roll sometime. You change their mind in a hurry.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Champion Ken Parise takes over. I played football with Ken Parise at YSU. How
All
about
right.
that? He's been coaching 44 years
Oh,
on the
my
sideline.
goodness.
Right around the time that I'd be coaching.
Yeah,
It's the truth. And
pretty close to his
now
age.
the new head coach at Champion, Kenny, I watched him play linebacker at YSU with me. And good luck to you as you.
If they play like he did, they'll be all right.
Exactly. So
Wow. Well, taking over 1-9.
it's hard.
Because without guessing, I would imagine the numbers are low.
And George and I have talked so many times on our shows. And if you listen, I learn a lot from George. He'll say many times, if you want to be a coach, there aren't many times you're taking over a 9-1 program.
No, leaving. I remember one time I was looking into a job, you know, and I said, somebody said something. I said, Harding ain't coming open. It is back in the day now.
Right.
I said, that guy's not leaving Harding because he has
They'll
studs.
win every year.
Yes.
Yeah, so Kenny's taking over a 1-9 program. Let's see what he can do there. We'll follow him all year. In Lakeview, Pennsylvania, Blake Reddick is taking over district championship. Came up short last year.
Good year for Lakeview.
He was the offensive coordinator. Comes in, takes over again as the head
And
football
now
coach.
they're refurbing their bleachers. They're not going to be having home games early.
Wow,
I saw a picture
okay.
the other day. Looks like it's going to be real nice when it's done,
Gotcha.
but I think they're a little behind.
That is good. Latonia, Matt Alamari takes over.
Oh,
Once again, an 0-10 team. He's a familiar face. He led Lisbon before the 4 years. He's back on the sidelines for Latonia for the second time. He had the Bears in back-to-back playoffs in 2007 and 2008. They remember the good times. When Matt's name came up, many of the grandparents or parents said, "Hey,
go get
he's a
him.
heck of a coach. Let's go get him."
The only thing is, like you say, when you're
0-10.
taking over 0-10,
Yeah.
the culture's shaky. It has. I mean, I know the kids could be great and work hard and this and
Yes.
that, but at some point, that mental strain of not winning is tough. Like, what do you think? We'll talk about this later, but a guy like Skeens, how many times is he going to leave the game ahead till he has enough of it, or you don't think that would be an issue mentally?
Oh, I think mentally it definitely wears on you.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
no
I thought you'd
Wears
say
on you,
that.
Yeah. Interesting that we just talked about Latonia, and we just talked about Matt Alamari leaving Lisbon. He's leaving a team that was 7-4, and Bill Meek's taken over. He's been in the business for 34 years. Head coach is as head coach, serving as assistant many times at East Palestine, Canfield, Columbiana, Hubbard,
Wellsboro. We've been all over the place.
So he's been around and knows. I have a feeling I'm going to predict Bill's not taking over a great team because they were 7-4 last year, and the head coach left Lisbon to go to Latonia.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if I'm wrong or not.
It's so tough.
But if you like coaching, you're going to coach.
Yeah.
That's,
See, you've always said that. That's the one thing you've said from we've been together like 40 years,
Yeah.
and you've said that if you love to coach, like you live for the practices and you live for seeing the kids get better, and you enjoy it.
Yeah, I put coaches on the spot all the time. They don't like me because I'll say, "Do you like coaching or do you like winning?"
Yeah.
There's a major difference. Major difference. And the guy told me, had a successful program. He says, "I like winning. I wouldn't go coach kids If I knew my record,
If I
was
knew
gonna
we
be
had
good.
no chance,
Yes.
I would just bag it.
That's what he said. He said,
Oh, my.
I said, at least you're honest. I said, because you wouldn't have lasted an Elwood. Because every 4 or 5 years, I knew I had no chance of winning. Warren Harding, Matt Richardson takes over for Stevie Arnold. Stevie Arnold knew really well. Harding does not stand for losing, George. They were 5-7 last year.
No good.
Yep. So he's a Warren JFK alumni, offensive coordinator for Homa's state finals team. He's come from winning. They're hoping it rubs off on Harding because Harding has always been has always had the reputation of winning games for a long time with us.
Oh, yeah, we go back to when I remember
I coached there.
And they would they would bring their kids up to this camp, and we would look at these kids and say,
Studs.
"Oh God,
Studs.
look at that guy!" And then Bill Bourne, our great friend, was around forever. And he saw the same thing. He went to a 7-on-7 with Stowe Rocks. He said, "You had to see these guys with their shirts off." He said, "They look like somebody's uncle," you know.
One of the great lines I remember. I went to Warren Harding, and I had two lightning fast wide receivers, a big tight end with the University of Cincinnati.
Jeez.
I said, tailback and played it backward, and I'm saying, hey. I whispered to somebody I just got to know, we're awesome. He said, no, you're not. You haven't seen Massillon and Camp.
That's what I knew you were
You
going to
haven't
say.
seen Camp McKinley yet.
I remember when I was at Altoona,
Camp McKinley.
we would have two losses. Massillon and Canton. Now Canton Lincoln we'd lose
time,
to
okay.
sometimes. But the point was we thought we were pretty good.
Yeah, so we had good players, but then we played McKinley, Massillon, and
Oh my gosh.
and McKinley.
No, I remember because Mike Reed was come on. He was no regular guy.
He's an all-pro.
Outland Trophy, all pro.
Yes.
And they beat him.
Yes.
We got him once my sophomore year out
Think about
there.
that. That's all you want to do is try to beat them once.
Oh no, you kidding me?
And they won it last year. They came back and won the state championship last year, so they're coming back
strong
again. Yeah.
Let's talk MLB. We knew this would come. When you have 162 games, you're going to have the old peaks and the old valleys.
And you want to slow down the valley. That's what.
Yeah. Let's make the losing streak 3, not 5.
That's so important.
And if we can make the winning streak 7, not 4,
Yeah.
now we got something.
You have a
And
good
you
year.
can see both. We can talk about them
No
both here in a
question.
minute.
That's the truth.
Arizona, you called me about a week ago.
They score.
And you
now
said-
they got 2 pitchers back.
And I heard Harper yesterday. They were interviewing him. They said, "These guys, what's with these guys?" He goes, "What's with them?" I said, "Number one," he said, "they're terrific. Number two, they play hard.
Yeah.
And they play to win. They're not intimidated by anything."
Yeah, that's Arizona. And when people are talking about all the Baltimore Orioles and New York Yankees and Houston Astros, I know they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't overlook Arizona. They have a heck of a team. The only thing that's not strong is in their closer. They don't have a great closer. But other than that, they hit, field, run, and their starting pitching is really good. So that's
How about the Padres? They're in the same division. You could say ditto.
yeah. San Diego right now is really believing in themselves, and they're scoring runs. Machado's right there in the middle of the line. He's so dangerous. The Arizez, how you say his name, the leadoff hitter is one of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah, no, the guy from absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, funny, the other night, you were talking about Machado. He's batting. And the lefty for Pittsburgh comes up, the relief Chapman. Now he throws it. It's 105.
Right.
Now. And Machado just stands there, looks out at him, and they just start laughing. Each one of them start
Throw
laughing.
that hard?
The guys, he said, "I can't hit
They
that."
throw that hard, exactly.
No.
Yep.
No, exactly.
So yeah, that league of Dodgers, Arizona, and San Diego.
They're no sure thing at Dodgers, are
Yeah,
they?
no, they're 4
No,
up.
4 up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not with 2 months and a half, 3, whatever you call it. Coldest team. Now there's a team that's as cold as ice. That's the White Sox.
The Pirates point to the White Sox now.
Yes, and look, and they fired their manager last week. No, I know they did it. The point behind it is you let your fans think you're watching.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all because
all
you
it can
can't
be.
do about it.
Like George has said it a million times too. I heard him say it. You can't fire 25 players.
No.
That's what they want to do.
Oh
yeah.
Let's do what that kid that day I was at the polling game. Can we have a do-over? Rematch.
No
They need a
rematches.
rematch for 120 games.
Ozzie Guillen, who was the old White Sox coach,
did you hear
makes
him?
fun of him so bad.
Did you hear him? No, wait. First of all, he's funny to start with.
He makes fun of
He
him.
said, "It's bad for my self-esteem." He said, I think I must really be lousy if they hired him." That's what he said. You know, most guys won't
say it.
No.
I know. He's the
No.
truth.
Oh, my gosh. But the Pirates, okay. Here we
You've been
go.
saying 5-5. You've been saying 6-4 for a long time.
Okay, you ready? 1-9.
I know. And the way they lost them is worse. I talked to a Pirate fan today before I came in.
Albert, I'm being
He said
honest.
they could have been 6-4 so easily.
I think he's being kind.
But I would have taken 6-4.
Oh, I'd have taken 5-5.
Yeah, you know what? They lost more games 8th inning on in 1 week than
And
I've ever
Cleveland
seen.
wins
Than
them
I've ever
all.
seen any
Class
team.
A wins them all, 60-0.
It's what Guardians are in first place.
Yeah.
Pirates are heading for
By
last
the way,
place.
they're 3-7. They're cold
They
also.
struggled this week.
But they're not. But they come
But
back
remember,
against
3-7 will
Twins.
keep you okay.
Yeah.
When you're
Because it takes 9-1 to gain on you. You know.
when you're 1-9, you just drop off the map.
They're last place.
That's where they went.
No, they are. They're in last place.
Yeah.
They're 1-9 last 10. The Guardians are 3-7 last 10. After 8, as you said before, you've said it on this show and others, it's a bullpen game.
Yeah, the game is if you haven't figured that out yet. You know, if you're a gambler, you bet the first 5 innings because the starter's going to be out after 5 or 6. So now you got 3 more innings you have to take care of, and never a sure thing. But with the Indians, it's pretty close. After 7 innings, 80-0, right, George?
And the antithesis, Pittsburgh doesn't have a
Oh
relief.
my gosh,
And
they thought they did. That's what hurts.
They thought Bednar was the
they-
answer,
yes.
and he was last year.
Yes.
Now, what are we seeing? You know, the more they change, the more they seem the same. Judge is still pounding the ball.
Yeah, that son of a gun is really become a superstar. Yeah, no question about it. Yankees got him cheap for what they paid him. Yeah, Judge and Ohtani are both superstars. We're seeing them in our own eyes right now.
Last week, Ohtani was playing against the Pirates. I knew this was coming. I was watching something else. I just had it on the corner of my eye. He swung. Center fielder just looked straight up, didn't turn around, didn't move. Albert, that thing hit so far back in the concourse, it bounced back out.
Yeah. Those are two awesome players, and neither one of them right now are Ohtani can, but Judge right now is fighting Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay, now
for
that
the
was
MVP.
You're reading my mind. The next question was now. Can Witt Jr., who I love because he runs around the bases fast when he hits homer, can he be a factor?
Yeah, by the way, he's the MVP right now. He is the MVP.
Over Judge?
Yeah, he's first in everything.
Okay.
The only thing he's not first in homers, first in on-base percentage,
Okay.
first in OPS, first in doubles,
And
first
they're
in triples.
relevant. Kansas City's
Yeah,
relevant.
and he's the one that made him relevant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the year he's had.
So you're
I still
saying
think,
there's a chance.
No, he should be. Which
But
should
you're
be
saying
given
Judge
I
is-
think Judge is going to get it.
I understand what you're
Yes,
talking about.
uh-huh.
You know how
Yep,
the things
uh-huh.
work. That is amazing.
Yeah, Judge, they're both all 3 of them are superstars. Though. Like I don't give credit.
Super.
Yeah, I don't give credit to people
They're
that
superstars.
easily. Those are 3 stars.
Guy said something the other day. He said, "What would you do for a center fielder?" It was Judge, because you don't think of a big guy like that.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. He's amazing.
I've seen him reach over the wall, of course.
Yeah.
Now, what do we know? What do we know? Averages are down.
Never going to
We
change.
know. I saw a guy the other day.
Never gonna change.
Albert, he tried to bunt the ball with his bat.
I know.
Albert, it was vertical. Now, he's not going to hit the ball.
Yeah, the thing that makes me sad about when you tell me that, George, is they'll say they can't bunt because they throw hard. That's not the reason why. It's because their technique is so
bad.
and they don't want to bunt.
And
You
I've
understand?
seen guys square
they
around
don't
doing
want
it.
to bunt.
No, they don't want to
No,
bunt.
they don't want to bunt.
No, now you said
That's
it. No.
like what are you doing?
No,
Give me a bunt sign.
no, you just hit it.
By the way, Arizona bunts more than everybody in baseball.
Imagine
Then
where
they're
they
winning
are.
some games.
Imagine that. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No changes coming that I see. Now,
No,
what?
I'll say it again, George. You lead me right in. This is George's quote.
Yeah.
I don't mind if 3, 4, and 5.
Like Judge, I want Judge to do what he's doing.
Yeah. End of the bat.
Yeah.
Taking it back, leverage,
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
I want you. But 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Second and third, 1 out.
Let's get him
There's
out.
not a chance of them thinking,
Get
let me
him
choke
out.
up,
Let's get
get a
him
ground
out.
ball to second base,
Get him out.
get a run in.
Because they'll leave it, yeah.
They'll for sure strike out or hit a pop up. Sure as I'm sitting here.
And usually Pittsburgh, what happens, then they don't, and the next guy does hit a fly ball.
Happens all the time.
Then he would have
Happens all the
scored.
time.
That's Pittsburgh
Happens all the
baseball.
time, yes.
Beershauer's gone, I think. He's not going to
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I just talked to a guy today and said no chance.
No chance?
No chance. He said an extension means he's going to stay.
Wait a minute. I heard that on television, and what they're mad about is they've not told people what it is and how long.
They haven't told him what it is.
They know there's extension.
Yeah, I said just talked to somebody today who knows, a big Pirate fan. Said he's back. I said,
Beer shower. That tells me they don't care. Then we know. We know next year. You know, they had a manager down there.
Yeah,
a
they did.
good manager.
Oh, yeah, he won.
A good manager. No, they had. Now, what do we know about baseball? Maybe a little different. Hot teams win. Like Arizona last year, we could go back 10 years.
We only playing your best.
Yeah, you don't want to you might want 100 wins as much as you want 97 coming in hot.
That's why I don't like a team that clinches
Early.
and
Bingo.
starts resting. All of a sudden,
Bingo.
they lose their MO.
Bingo.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievable. So you think so? You'll be back. Interesting. He has an extension. The guys were just crying last night on the talk shows that they won't say how long it's for, which they should say.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
Now, we know this. We've learned this. Preseason week 1 is in the books, and what did we learn? Nothing, because nobody's doing anything to try to win. People, please. I remember last year the Steelers looked like Air Coryell.
They did.
This lady says to me, she goes, all Pittsburgh. She says, I said, ma'am, I said, I don't want to ruin your night.
Yes.
I said, those are pizza delivery men on the other side.
Yeah, two teams that are so high-powered offensively. I mean, I can guarantee their over-unders are going to be 47. Or the Rams in Dallas.
Yeah, 0.
They played.
I watched.
They played in the preseason. Was there a touchdown scored? Yeah, maybe one touchdown.
Wait a minute, they gave him a do-over. It's a sore subject. 5 interceptions.
Well, I didn't even know what.
But let me tell you what happened.
I know nothing about the game.
4th and 20.
Nobody scored.
No, 4th and 20.
Okay.
They stop him. 5th interception. That's how bad he is, the kid from Georgia.
Okay.
Defensive holding, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down, 4th and 20. Next guy catches a ball. Guy tackles him. Guy throws a flag. And you know how when they lay there like they're hurt?
Yes.
I
hate that
it
so
wasn't
bad.
near Al. It wasn't any definition of targeting you've ever seen. Jeez. They scored on 4th and goal from the 11 with 3 seconds left. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. So you know how it's a joke. Now, what else do we know? What are we seeing? They're not going to play past what this week? A quarter max. There's only 3. Remember.
They're not playing.
Not at all.
A lot of them aren't playing at all.
Soup Boy.
Yeah,
Thanks, Soup Boy.
A lot of them are not playing at all.
Hey, that's Soup Boy. Thanks, Soup Boy.
Anybody who has a big contract or
No.
is considered one of their best players is not playing.
No.
They've already said that McCaffrey's not playing at all. Henry's not playing at all. I'm talking about at all. They've already made the announcement.
No, they weren't dressed. That's how you know you're not playing. Jefferson's not dressed for Minnesota. That's how you know you're not playing.
No, that's what I said.
Well, I guarantee if
but
you're not dressed,
but people pay money to think
they
they're
have
playing.
no choice. You ever notice that there's a different crowd in the exhibition games? People give their tickets away.
They just give them away.
They don't want to watch that slop. It's slop, and you're paying full price for it.
Full price, that's
like
it.
You guys that
Full
get down,
price.
You guys that go to Pittsburgh, you're enabling that guy that owns the Altoona Mirror not to spend any
Full
money.
price.
Remember that. He's not spending any money. He's laughing all the way to the bank.
Those big crowds I
You put your little stupid Skeens mustache on and give him another $1 million. Unbelievable. Now, what do we know? Because the CeeDee Lamb is still holding out.
That means 0 too.
You know, will he be there? Game 1 against the Browns.
Every one of the
Will he be out in Cleveland?
He'll be playing. Sure as I'm sitting.
You don't think they'll rest him?
Sure.
There? Okay.
Sure.
So
Anybody's holding out will be playing that first
So
game.
really,
the Jets have a guy. San Francisco has a guy. Dallas has a guy.
And Jets told that guy today.
They will be
He
playing.
wants traded again. Without the guy told him, there's no chance of it. Get your rear end in here.
Yep.
That's what he said. Ayuk is in the same boat.
He's one of them.
Will he be? It seems like he doesn't want to play for Cleveland.
Well, they are. San Francisco will not give him away for nothing. Though.
No.
Pittsburgh is trying to lowball him.
Yeah, and they're going to fleece you.
And they're not going to.
How good is he?
Just good.
Remember what he's got with him.
Very good.
McCaffrey,
not great.
Kittle.
Not great.
He's not.
There's 4 great receivers, and that's all.
Okay, but he would make them good.
Yeah, he'd make them better.
Pittsburgh better.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you would say. I knew that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you would say, but I wanted to ask. No injuries is the thing that really matters. Now, will the rookie QBs play a little more?
I would.
McCarthy,
That
the
don't mean
kid
they
at the
will,
Bears.
but I would.
And see, here's what you don't understand. This is what people don't realize. They're playing against vanilla defenses, and right now they're getting ready for game 1, the real game.
Real game.
So I
Big
love
difference.
JJ, but I'm not excited.
Big difference.
Because I
Big
know
difference.
what happens when they're doing that man-to-man behind the zone. And this, he says, what that dude say for the Jets, I'm seeing ghosts.
Yes. There's people playing like they'll have 13 players instead of 11.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
Really. Now, the one thing we notice, though, we've watched this, because they don't hit in practice, early in the year, the tackling will be poor.
Can't happen.
Can we guarantee that to our viewers?
It has to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll take it a step further that tackling has always got worse because they don't believe in tackling anymore. They believe in trying to hurt people. I mean, that's
Trying to knock their helmet
They try to knock
sideways.
their helmet sideways. That's right.
Yeah. Teams don't hit anymore. We have a buddy who's an NFL agent, and
Nope.
they don't hit. It's just that simple. If you're I said to someone the other day, matter of fact, Al and I on our radio show had the Super coach. He said, we hit. I said, I knew that.
I'm old school. He said, I'm old school. He said, I want to hit.
We hit.
I want to be ready to physical play on Saturday. That's what he
Remember
said,
the
yeah.
one year Navy tried not to hit, and they come out and got just
Ruined his whole program. By the way, he's the head coach again. I saw that.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look and see where he's head coach.
Okay, I get you. No reason. If you want to watch football, we are alerting you over 60 crowd, over 55 crowd. You'll need 6 or 7 services to see them all. You will need Netflix and you will need Peacock. Now, you already have probably CBS.
Now, is that every week or is this a special occasion, George?
Certain times.
Okay.
Yeah, certain times. Like
It's not every week.
that Friday night the Eagles play the Packers, you need Peacock. That's the game that's in Chile. And then the day, Christmas Day, Pittsburgh plays. You'll get that game.
Because
But the night game's better. It's Texas, Baltimore. You don't
get that one?
You do. You have Netflix.
Okay.
You'll get it.
I do have Netflix.
Yeah, so you will need them all. You'll need Netflix, Peacock, Amazon. All right, NCAA football.
Hardest part for me, George, I know I have them.
Finding them.
Finding them is my hard part. That's the hard part for me.
Getting them on and all that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
We're from a different.
I'm never on.
We're
never
from
on.
the era where you guys said, turn it a little more, up, leave it.
Yes.
That's not like that anymore.
Right.
Now, 24th is week 0. I know there's one
What's
good
today?
game.
Today's the 12th. Is that
Oh,
correct?
no, 2
Yes.
Saturdays. It's
2
Georgia
Saturdays
Tech
from
and
now.
Florida
Yeah.
State are
Think
in
about
Ireland.
that.
Remember, how many years have we been on the radio when Notre Dame played over
11
there
o'clock game.
with Davy?
And the same thing. This one will be the 11 o'clock game.
Same thing.
Okay.
Now, the local teams are loaded. Ohio State has the Noah's Ark of
he has to- he
football,
has to
2
win.
of everything.
He has to win.
But he's been told.
Yeah. This is definite.
No. I mean, these guys called our show. We call him Buckeye Bomb. And the dude is like 56-6. And he says, if he doesn't beat, and I'm thinking, and I've come to realize he's been told.
Oh, no doubt.
He's going to be John Cooper Jr.
Yeah, Ohio State is Ohio State.
Yes.
And we're talking in Ohio right now to a lot of Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You are saying right now, you're
better
saying,
beat him.
talking back to us right now saying, if he does not beat Michigan,
He's out.
He's out. Yes.
No. Well, we know Ohio State's a giant. We know Penn State is very,
They're
very
good.
good.
They're not a giant like Ohio State.
No. And West Virginia.
And that's the problem that Penn State fans have to understand.
No,
They aren't the giant like Ohio State.
They won't stay in their lane now.
No.
They complain about losing to Ohio State and Michigan, and to be honest, they're not
They're not as
better than
good.
either one.
No.
They might be this year, Michigan. I think I really made a mistake.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
Yeah, I hope I didn't, but I think I did. Biggest unknown is Pitt. Their over-under's like 6.5. I got them at like 5.
Yeah, that's interesting. You don't think it's good. I think it's going to be better than you think.
Good. I hope you're right. I mean, it makes things better.
But you don't really care about Pitt that much.
No, I don't care at
No,
all.
you don't.
I got buddies that
No.
went there. A couple
Yes.
of our friends
Right.
went there. Now some early games. Week 1, Miami and Florida. The losing coach could be out by Thanksgiving.
That's why that game's so big. Not because of the record. It's because the fans want whoever loses, they might be fired the next week.
And Clemson and Georgia's, they're 10.5, not 11.5, I heard.
I saw them at 11.5.
Okay, then they can't lose. We're going to have
see.
that.
We'll see.
A&M and Notre Dame, a classic.
Yeah.
Because you know how
Notre
that
Dame
wreck
Notre
plays
Dame
at
just
home.
lost their best player.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle.
Yeah, I
You know,
did see that.
See, that's so important to Notre Dame because that's the way they play.
They want
they
to
wanna
dirty
beat
your
you up,
nose.
yes.
Then West Virginia, Penn State, be careful. They pushed the guy in last year with no time left.
Must be fired up.
West Virginia will be fired
yeah.
up. The interesting thing is going to be the 12. I want to see what Liberty and Boise do.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be crying if there's 3 or 4 in
It's going to happen.
SEC team.
I'm telling you right
Well,
now.
then they're going to be
I
crying.
know there's going to be no less than 4 SEC teams.
They're going to be
It's
crying
gonna
at
be
the
that
end
way.
because you know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. The last thing, I don't give sportscasters much credit, but when someone does a nice job and isn't full of himself, I will. Mike Tirico, he did about 97,000 sports there.
Tough job.
And did a tough
He
job.
did a tough job and did it well.
Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. See you next week.